Coming to you from behind the craziest socialist lines of the Pacific Northwest, local and national news, talk, and opinions, this is the Behind the Line podcast.
So I'm listening to the radio this morning, and that lunatic Adam Schiff comes on promoting his new book, Midnight in Washington, How We Almost Lost Our Democracy and Still Could. And it's hilarious to me to listen to this guy talk about how Trump almost took our democracy away. And, you know, he's right along with these people who compare what happened on January 6th, which I don't condone, but comparing the January 6th thing to the Civil War. These people are so dramatic. This guy thinks he's some kind of hero. Of course, he's from California, former federal prosecutor, and supposedly a triathlete, sits on the Senate Intelligence Committee, which is crazy to me. But this guy talks about how, Republicans are taking the democracy away. You know, I don't really like the Republicans all that much anymore either, but this guy and the Democratic Party have done more to destroy our democracy, ruin this country, destroy the economy, raise taxes, strip rights. I just wonder if he's ever actually read the Constitution of the United States. This guy is so self-absorbed and thinks he is some kind of savior to the U.S. It's just, typical narcissistic, sociopathic politician. Love to sit there and listen to him talk about how wonderful he is and he's done so much to save the world. What's sad is the Democrats just can't. The interviewer actually asked him if the Democrats take any responsibility for where the country's at right now. And he literally said no, none at all. And to think that the problems we're having right now in this country just sprouted up in the last 4 years is absolute insanity. These problems have been building and building for years with Republican and Democratic presidents and representatives making poor decisions and spending way too much money on too many social programs and giving too much money away. But in the last, year and a half, almost 2 years, the last year of Trump's presidency and, the first 10 months of the psychopath being president, they've spent trillions of dollars, and I heard this analogy the other day to a trillion because I don't think people wrap their heads around exactly how much money that is. But if you converted $1 trillion into seconds, so 1 trillion seconds, do you know how many years that converts over to? 37,000 years. 1 trillion seconds is 37,000 years. They want to spend, we're already up in the trillions, but they want to spend another $3.5 trillion on this Build Back Better bullshit. That literally will never be paid off. That is generational debt that our great grandkids will still be paying. And this is only going to continue to get worse and worse. They keep raising the debt ceiling. They're going to keep raising the debt ceiling because they can't pay their bills unless they're in debt. There's no other person. You could not run your household that way in debt. You could not run a business like this, being in this kind of debt, and stay in business. But for some reason, it's okay for the government to run this huge deficit all the time. For what? They keep saying they're doing all these things for us. They don't do anything for us. They keep saying they're going to tax the rich, the super wealthy, and make them pay their fair share. And this has been said for years and years. It never happens. Oh yeah, we're going to tax the billionaires, and oh, well, we're going to monitor every $600 or more transaction in pleb people's account. They don't need to be in my bank account for a $600 transaction. When are people going to wake up and realize these politicians are self-serving, narcissistic sociopaths that don't care about anyone but themselves and their job and their rich friends? All these politicians are wealthy. They're not going to go after the super rich because they'd be going after themselves, but they're going to keep telling you they're going to do that, so you'll keep voting for them, thinking at some point they're actually going to do what they say they're going to do. And they just aren't going to do it. They're all corrupt. They're all misusing their positions of authority and power. I just wonder when the majority of people in this country are going to wake up and see these politicians for what they are. And in case you haven't noticed, we're currently being ran straight into the ground. And this is directly because of Biden and his cronies' little policies. Inflation is at an all-time high. The shipping industry is in shambles. Biden has screwed up the Afghanistan thing worse than probably anything we've seen in our lifetimes. You've got all kinds of shortages. You've got electricity possibly going to be a problem like it is in all these other countries. You've got natural gas prices going through the roof. They want to continue to limit these things and the ability to produce these sources of energy. You've got them wanting to raise taxes on us, watch us more. The guy, President Biden, can't friggin' speak with any kind of clarity if he's going off a teleprompter. Seriously. And, the whole thing with France, that he supposedly now has come out that he had no idea that was even going on. How does a president not know anything about defense contracts, nuclear submarine contracts? Now you've got the situation with China ramping up, trying to take Taiwan back, and the U.S. is obligated to protect Taiwan. And what do you think is going to happen if China actually does invade Taiwan? You think Biden's actually going to do anything about that? Because I don't. His kid has gotten millions of dollars from the Chinese government. I'm sure Biden himself has gotten millions of dollars from the Chinese government. He's not going to attack them. They'll take some sort of verbal position, and that'll be it. And the Democrats and Biden are incapable of running this country, and we're paying the price for it right now. And I don't know when people will have had enough of handing over their paychecks, but it's going to be a long winter. Anyway, Adam Schiff, you're an idiot. Hey guys, thanks for listening to the Behind the Line podcast at behindthelinepodcast.com. If you liked this, I hope you will like, share, and subscribe to our channel. You can find us on YouTube. You can find us on Facebook at Behind the Line WA. You can find us on Twitter at Behind WA. You can also find us on Telegram and LinkedIn at Behind the Line. And I'm on Rumble. Thanks again for listening, and I appreciate your support.